Now that all of our data has been acquired, we can start preparing it. Here are the parts to consider when preparing the data. Preparation. This is where you make your data usable. Profiling. This is where you get to know your data. The most common way in preparing the data is by using BrainScript to transform it. Continuing with my graph, I'm going to use output scripts to edit my fields. First, I'm going to add a filter node and join it with the customer accounts data. One of the advantages to joining nodes prior to editing them is the ability to have input fields pre-identified for easy selection. Let me show you what I mean. Inside of this filter node, I'm going to output specific fields. Notice the Emit All statement auto-populates. To omit only specific fields, first I delete the asterisk, and then I enter my fields. Because we joined the nodes prior to editing, if I right-click and select Inputs, I see my list of all the input fields. I then select the field I want, in this case, Customer Account Number. Another way to add a field is to use single quotes. Single quotes are used to identify input fields from the incoming data. As I type the single quote, a drop-down appears with the list of fields. I can then select the fields I want. When entering fields, make sure to separate them with a comma. I'm going to go ahead and enter the remaining fields I want. Now I name my node and run it. If I look at the BRD viewer, I see only those fields I specified have been outputted. While using BrainScript, you will be pointing to field names throughout the process of creating your graph. When you are referring to field names, there are some things to keep in mind. If a field name has a space in between words, use quotation marks to identify the whole word. If a field name has no spaces, no quotation marks are needed. Field names can be prefixed with an input number. This is useful when joining two inputs together and you need to identify which input the field is coming from. Next, I'm going to show you how to rename an output field. To help optimize the performance of my graph, I'm going to place the code within the same filter node I already configured, rather than adding a separate node. For this step, I want to rename the field Occupation Details as Job Title. Notice the use of both single quotes and double quotes. As I previously stated, single quotes are used to identify input fields from the incoming data. Double quotes are used to indicate text. In this case, the text of Job Title. Since I have already run this node, I need to rerun it in order for the changes I made to take effect. I can run and rerun nodes from within the editor window. If an error is produced, I can edit the script right here within this window. Let's take a look at the two BRD viewers. If I take a look at the input BRD viewer, I see the original name of Occupation Details. But when I look at the output BRD, I see the new name Job Title. Now I click OK. Last, I'm going to show you how to exclude input fields from an output. This can sometimes be easier than listing all fields I want to omit. First, I'm going to add a filter node and join it with the account payments data. This time, I want to keep my Emit All statement and use an exclude script. I want to exclude the fields APY agreement status, row ID, and company code. Now I name my node and run it. Let's take a look at the two BRD viewers. If I take a look at the input BRD viewer, I see the three fields I want to exclude. If I take a look at the output BRD viewer, I see that they have in fact been excluded.
And that's how you use output-related scripts to output specific data.